And we're back. This is a hard drive, which most of you are going to know that, I assume. Why am I showing you it? Simple. My old power supply died in my computer and it took this out with it. That had 10 years of photos and recordings and bits and pieces, so all the videos that were in progress were on there and are not accessible. Great. That's kind of why I haven't posted anything for a bit, after the last post that I made. So, we're starting fresh and diving right into both of Irvine's Saixes, both new and old. Let's take a look. The Lightning Saix is not a stranger to this channel, because they're my third favourite Zoid and I really enjoy building them, so this gave me a shameless excuse to build two back to back, and just leave it as simple as that. Key points of a base Saix, it's been a minute since I spoke about them, but the things to keep in mind are, the head, neck, chest articulation is not the best and needs an update. Fine for most posing, but not for range. The tail pops off fairly easily, as do the paws, as they use the same connection style of ball joint and soft socket. Again, it doesn't bother me too much because admittedly I don't really change the posing of about 95% of my Zoids once they're completed. Unless I make, a video where they're relevant and, I guess, viewed. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me, it might bother you. The rear leg ball joint sockets need to be placed in carefully to ensure that the little square stem that they have goes into the square part they're supposed to, because if you don't line it up correctly, once you press it in, the ball joint will actually implode on itself, and this means that you can't push the stem of the leg into the socket itself when you're trying, and it gets very frustrating. Finally, glue is your friend in this build. The manual points out many places where you can use it, but there's many other places that you can also put it without, interrupting the build or the articulation itself, just to give it more durability. Now, for both of mine, I've glued the external testing phase armor on both of them. This is because I don't want them to ever really come off, period. It would annoy the living hell out of me if it could come off, because I do move them around fairly often to clean. I don't really pose them, but I could see the armor being a major pain in the butt when I'm trying to clean them, so I've glued it. Taking a look at the unique addition to the Irvine Saix, the main dish of course being the experimental armor, or the testing suit I guess. His neat little mecha tux, I suppose, or his winter woolies, whatever you want to call them. It's really decently done, very easy to belt through and knock out quickly after the main build. It looks great and fits the existing design really well, however it does heavily restrict the movements due to the soft piping that it has, and this makes sense because I think it was meant to restrict and stabilize it in the show, if I remember correctly anyway. During the anime, Irvine's Saix sheds the suit and lets loose, so basically I'd say that is lore friendly with the restrictions on movements. Probably not this much though, but just be aware that the pipes pop out of their housing connections constantly, and for the most part, you can actually super glue them in both ends, and it keeps the armor removable and unhindered. It's not going to hurt to do this, provided that you don't glue the armor together like both of the plates. If you do want to reduce the chaos of removing the pieces, like when you're pulling it all apart to just see the bare Saix without this suit, there's little flat plates that connect the main plates of these armor bits, I guess, the suit. You can comfortably glue those in to one side only, so that when you do put the other plate on, it'll just click in. And that means that when you take it apart, there's going to be a lot less little pieces that'll want to flick around and come off and go everywhere. But it's ultimately up to you. Just also make sure that you don't glue, there's a section that rocks up and down that the little pipe connects to. Don't glue that at all. Just leave it free. Now, onto the key differences between them. The original print features metallic injected exterior armor plates for the Saix over a seemingly otherwise standard Saix coloring underneath, with a bit of a more retro look to it in my opinion, given the silver look. It does have a fair bit of marbling through the plastic, which is to be expected when you're injecting metallic through nooks and crannies, but overall I think it's simple enough, even if not entirely unique. The remake, however, is very different. Immediately you are given multiple extra sprues of existing parts in different colours, and these serve to separate the colours throughout the build and give the Saix its own unique colouring, separate to all the other Saix kits that have been available, making it immediately recognisable. The chassis is a muted medium to dark grey with a hint of grape, covered by a very lightly metallic flaked medium to dark grey, reminiscent of the original Saix colouring, that as expected does have some marbling, along with the brighter silver barrels and touches on the claws and such. The exterior armor, I'd say, is more of a medium navy blue-grey, and when it's all stacked in with the gorgeous red that they've chosen for the vents and such, it's absolutely stunning. The verdict though, that's the tricky part. While the new one does look fantastic and have a unique take, it's not how the original looks in the show, at least from what I remember, so if you want accuracy, then the original print of the kit is what you're looking for. But the figures for the new kit also aren't painted, so if you want them painted, if that bothers you, then you need the original kit also. Price-wise, the new Saix comes in at around 80 to 100 Australian when buying from Japan, and around 130 locally. This is in AUD, of course. And I think that's a really good deal given all the extra pieces that you get that you can use in custom Saixes builds for, you know, if you've got one sitting around or you want to do your own custom. As for the old variant, that is trickier, but finding it on places like Baiyi, it varies between 140 to 200 Australian, and it really comes down to how much you want it. As I said, it only has the additional armor making it unique, and overall is more show accurate, so that's where the value lies. But that's about it for now. I'm not sure what I'm on to next, but, you know, take it easy and happy modeling.